Welcome to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas, as we're all set for the University of Texas Dallas Comets and the Trinity University Tigers here in Game 2 of a doubleheader. You saw it flash briefly on your screen. The lineup today for UT Dallas, it's Rexon, Garza, Finn, Bivens, Landry, Fernandez doing the catching, Coltrap, Munoz, and Self in the 9-hole, exactly the same as it was for Game 1 for the Comets. And on the mound for the Trinity University Tigers, it's Joseph Shavana making his third start of the season. First pitch, and we're underway with strike one.
Shavana has the pleasure of facing off against these Comets after their game earlier today, where they got quite a bit of run support.
Hit and through the hole left by Colt Harris. And a leadoff base runner for UT Dallas almost immediately.
Yeah, double digits in the hit department in Game 1 today for the Comets. It's a back and forth affair, and they pulled back ahead late in that one, scored a couple of runs in the bottom of the 8th to ultimately prevail over the Centenary College Gents 8-7.
Rexon aboard with a base hit, and now it's Garza who takes ball one from Shavana. Shavana went 5.2 in his last outing a week ago against a ranked school, the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Just high 2-0.
And it was Garza at the plate in game number 1 here on Tiger Network today that I believe it was just a single he was limited to down the left field line, dropped one into no man's land against the Gents that proved to be that game-winning hit.
Now 3-0 to Albert Garza. Walks have been a problem for Shavana. He's allowed 6 in each of the last 2 starts. Trying to avoid his first one here. You see the numbers on your screen. The ERA good, but the walks 12 on the season. 3-0 pitch. Strike one, inside edge.
Yeah, nice job of just finding that release point again. Uses that breaking ball as a get me over, and ultimately back in this count very early on. Still will need to throw a lot of strikes to get out of the top of the first.
Drops in for strike two. So Shavana able to battle back from 3-0. We'll try and finish this at bat in his favor. Working with Rexon on first base. Got on with a base hit. Misses, ball 4, throw gets into center field, but recovered by Trinity as they hold him to second base. It actually looks like they did call that strike 3 as Garza is headed back to the dugout, the first strikeout of the night for Shavana.
Yeah, Garza swinging through that one on a move no matter what. Rexon, who showed some speed in game 1 today, was in there very narrowly ahead of the strong throw from Lazera, just not cleanly fielded out there at second base. The Tigers a little bit lucky that he wasn't able to advance an additional 90 feet because of it.
We've seen receiving Lazera's throws be a bit of an issue those last few days. They lost 2 of them early against DeSales. Lose another one there, but it doesn't cost them the extra base as now they deal with Luke Finn in the batter's box for UT Dallas. Finn, one of the best power hitters in the country, second in the nation in home runs with 7. Pitch inside. Finn was 0 for 3 in game 1. Did reach with a walk, but limited in terms of extra base hits. Now Shavana will check on the runner on his backside.
Yeah, good idea to keep Rexon honest out there at second base, but an important spot here in the top of the first. Behind in this count, 2-0. Don't want to mess around with a hitter like Finn at the plate. An opportunity to just work around him with that first bag unoccupied at the moment. Nice pitch right there, breaking ball that finishes middle bottom of the zone. Important to keep the pitches down if he's going to try and attack Finn.
Tries to there, grounded to Harris, who throws to first for out number 2. Rexon advances to third, and that's the situation that Shavana will work with.
Yeah, and certainly we'll live with that right there. Another pitch that Finn certainly had an opportunity to do damage on. Looked like that breaking ball finished on the inside part of the plate, and Finn couldn't exactly get his barrel around to it. Softly hit ball that Harris fields cleanly and gets on over to first for out number 2.
Lazara able to keep that in front of him. Ball 1 to Bivens. Dylan Bivens leaving the yard today in the form of a grand slam in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Fouls that off to make it 1-1. That gave UT Dallas a 4-1 lead over Centenary, which they then tacked 2 more runs on that inning to make it 6-1. That lead wasn't safe, though. Centenary able to battle back. UT Dallas ended up winning. 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. As that pitch misses low, it's 2-1.
Think about it. That was half of the run support that UTD got in all of game 1. It was that one swing of the bat from Bivens. And he sent that one out to right field where the wind was blowing very hard in the early afternoon here in San Antonio. But from the looks of it, as the night has progressed, things have almost completely died down.
Shavana loses him. Ball 4 and the first walk handed out by Shavana of the night.
And again, with a couple of bases open out there, Shavana certainly doesn't want to be issuing free passes, but not the worst situation to do so. A guy that has already proven here today that he is very dangerous, has a lot of power in his bat. Don't want to risk giving him anything too sweet over the heart of the plate.
Now faces Zach Landry, hitting 5th today. The field alignment and the batting order the exact same for UT Dallas in game 1 and game 2. Resulted in an 8-7 win, 8 runs put on the board. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is that pitch a called strike on the outside edge? Shavana working with runners at the corners, 2 down in the inning. Not given the strike on that outside edge.
And really felt like it was the same spot as that last breaking ball. If anything, that one a little tighter. You would anticipate that that's the pitch that gets the strike in a certain spot, as opposed to the loopier one that has more movement.
And that loopier pitch is fouled off to make it 2-2. On that previous pitch, I was waiting for the strike to be called before I made the announcement on the broadcast. Never came. Now in a 2-strike situation. There's strike 3. Shavana gets out of the jam, allows 2 base runners, but none of them come home, as the Tigers will be up to bat when we come back on Tiger Network. Bottom of the first in San Antonio on Tiger Network. As you see the Tigers lineup on your screen, leading it off will be Pierce Matthews, followed by Maddox McDonald in right field. Doing the catching today, hitting third, Nicholas Lazara. DH Christian Holloway in the cleanup spot. Diego Gomez at first, making his first start of his Tiger career. Then Colt Harris, Jack Peterson, the center fielder, hitting seventh today. Then Jack Baker, and followed by Kai Tinker. And pitching for UT Dallas will be Ryan Vera, the graduate student from Friendswood, Texas. Vera, a special night for him, breaking the UT Dallas Comets record for appearances by a pitcher, as he settles in to face the leadoff man for the Tigers, Pierce Matthews. And starts his outing with strike one.
Yeah, a lot of seasons in this orange and green for Mr. Vera, who has been very impressive across his career for the Comets.
That's poked to the first base side. Vera covers, and it's out number one on 2 pitches.
And a good start here in San Antonio for a guy who is also tasked with a pretty difficult job. Trinity coming off a very impressive victory last night, another affair in which they had a very, very good offensive output.
Maddox McDonald steps into the batter's box. McDonald, a part of that offensive output playing in that game, scored 11 runs as McDonald drops the bunt. But it looks like it hit him as he was running to first base, so McDonald will be called out.
Yeah, an awkward one there that you don't see very frequently. McDonald certainly worked to move forward in that box as he was squaring around, tried to come get it at the very front and lay it down right ahead of home plate. And in the process, he kind of took himself to the inside of that baseline and clipped the baseball.
So an unfortunate play for Maddox McDonald and Trinity as Nicholas Lazara comes up to bat. Lazara hitting .360 on the year, OPS almost at 1,000. It's been a great season offensively for the Tigers catcher. Grounded up the middle, and the throw in time. What a play defensively by Munoz for UT Dallas. The stretch by Landry to finish it as we head to the top of the second. Still 0-0 in San Antonio as we're back for the top of the second. Joseph Shavana back on the mound as he faces the catcher, Fernandez. And ball one goes to the backstop.
Yeah, pretty dangerous pitch right there as Lazaro wasn't able to field it cleanly. A little lucky for home plate umpire back there. Straight between his legs, no harm done. But you're the catcher for these Tigers. Certainly want to do your job of trying to protect him best you can.
He misses that pitch 2-0. You wonder if that made contact, if that would cost him some calls later. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one. Fernandez catching both games of this doubleheader. Both of these catchers in your frame right now, workhorses. As that's hit to left, it'll get down. And for the second consecutive inning, the leadoff man reaches for UT Dallas.
And similar to what we saw in game one earlier today, lots of traffic on the base paths for both of the teams that we saw. That trend continuing here as Shavana falls behind in that count again. 2-1 pitch there. Another breaking ball that hung up just a little bit too much, and Comets able to do enough with that to find their leadoff base runner aboard.
Shavana falls behind again as he misses that pitch, making it 1-0. Facing the designated hitter Grayson Colthrap. Strike call. And they'll check on a run on the runner. Back safely in time. Coltharp 2 for 3 in game one. As he grounds that up the middle. Could be two, throw to first in time. What a play by Colt Harris to get to that baseball and flip it to second in time as the Tigers turn two.
I don't remember what my Bill Walton quote was earlier today. Da Vinci, Einstein, Colt Harris, very, very impressive, flashing the leather there, gathers himself on the ground, makes the important play of just flipping it on to get that lead runner, but plenty of time with Colthorpe running on the base paths to get that one on over to first as well and double him up.
The 4-6-3 double play, and two are away for the Tigers as Shavana fires strike one. Luke, you weren't here for this game, but on opening day, Shavana forced 4 inning-ending double plays against Babson. This one not inning-ending, but still gets Shavana out of a difficult situation with a runner on first and nobody out.
Yeah, racing leadoff runner is a very handy thing here.
And Shavana now works against the shortstop, Munoz, who grounds that foul to make it 2-2.
Breaking balls continuing for Joseph Shavana here in San Antonio. It's been a very, very healthy mix.
In the dirt, 3-2. And Shavana finds himself in another 3-ball count. Has only lost one hitter by way of the walk today.
It would certainly be nice to get out of the inning here against the 8-hole.
Hit hard to left, but Matthews makes the catch to end the inning. Middle of the second, as the Tigers will be up to bat once again when we come back. Scoreless between UTD and Trinity. Bottom of the second in San Antonio. Leadoff hitter for the Tigers, Christian Holloway, who takes ball one on the outside edge. Holloway, a .360 hitter last season. Over 300 once again this year. Takes strike one.
And similar to what we saw in Trinity's contest last night, maybe that down and away spot to these right-handed hitters, expanding the zone a little bit.
Pitch misses low to make it 2-1. Grounded up the middle for a base hit. As Holloway is aboard, the first base runner to reach for Trinity tonight.
And a hot shot off the bat of Christian Holloway right there. Vera lucky that that one didn't catch him on either of his cleats. A pretty good pace on it, even though it took that glance off the pitching mound. Far too much velocity for either of those middle infielders to come over and field it.
And so it'll bring up Diego Gomez in his first career start. Gomez has had some pinch hitting appearances, including a few nights ago, a Tuesday game against Mary Hardin Baylor. Strike called.
And already appearing like that's going to be very consistently called a strike here this evening.
Vera working with an 0-2 count. UTD wanted it, but ball one just misses off the outside edge.
I don't blame him. Great pitch from Vera right there to test that area. You imagine that if he throws it there again, Gomez is going to have to at least fight it off.
In the dirt, a good take by Gomez to even the count.
I think he was trying to induce a swing and miss on that last offering. Probably trying to induce it with a couple of consecutive ones right there. A nice idea of inducing a little spin on the baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Vera gets Gomez, and there's one down in the inning.
And he goes back to that same breaking ball, a couple of consecutive pitches. That one, he starts a little bit further up. It looks like it's going to be in that bottom portion of the strike zone. Better elevation on that one, and ultimately the same amount of break on it as it still winds up in the dirt. Nice job by Fernandez back behind home plate, keeping that in front of him.
As strike one lands to the second baseman, Colt Harris, who displayed his defensive expertise in the last half inning, turning a very difficult double play. Grounds it, could be two. And it is. Trinity gets a double play. UT Dallas answers as we head to the top of the third on Tiger Network. Welcome back to San Antonio, a 0-0 game in the top of the third between UTD and Trinity. As leading it off for UT Dallas will be the center fielder, Jaeger Self. Squares up to bunt, pulls it back for strike one. Self, a junior from Krugerville, Texas. Ball called on the outside edge.
And again, in game one, Self did a very nice job in this spot in the batting order. Successfully turned over the lineup for the Comets and trying to do so here.
Hit in the air to McDonald. One away.
Nice job from McDonald out there in right field. In between innings, we had the opportunity, got a couple angles of the tree out there in right field being blown around pretty drastically by the wind here in San Antonio. It picked up, maybe died down just a little bit right there to help out McDonald and make the play a little bit easier for him.
Went around strike one. On that last angle, you could actually see it in the pant legs of Diego Gomez. That wind is whipping once again. Grounded third base side, but foul. And we saw that in game one. A grand slam hit by UT Dallas by Bivens. Sort of guided out of the ballpark by the wind in right field. Might have a similar situation again. As Shavana works ahead 0-2. Just missed. Ball one.
Yeah, and the home plate umpire is making it kind of difficult to read exactly what he's going to call back there behind the dish. Just a little bit of a delay on each of these deliveries.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Third strikeout of the night for Joseph Shavana, and there's two down in the inning.
Shavana did a really nice job of getting that first out. Confidence boost and great thing, really a necessary thing to do against the 9-hole. Make sure that he's not able to fulfill his job, his duty of flipping the order over. Things continuing here in good trajectory for Shavana in the top of the third.
Strike one to Garza. Garza 0 for 1 has already struck out. Ground ball to Harris. And a quick 1-2-3. Shavana sends UT Dallas down in order as we head to the bottom of the third on Tiger Network. Bottom of the third in San Antonio, 0-0 between UTD and Trinity. As the leadoff man for the Tigers, the 7-hole hitter, Jack Peterson. Peterson hitting over 300 on the year, also has 3 home runs, tied for the team lead. Takes ball one outside to even the count.
Trinity was able to get a man aboard in the bottom of the second, but still Vera on the bump has faced the minimum as a double play ball erased that. Jack Peterson trying to get aboard another leadoff runner on for the Tigers.
Hit to right, and the catch made. Good play by Finn, able to track that towards his knees, and there's one away.
Yeah, very nice play there. As it looked like Finn had to reach across his body as he was coming in simultaneously. A well-struck ball by Peterson out there to right field. It had a good trajectory off the bat. Certainly looked like it was going to sink and get down. Unfortunately for the Trinity center fielder, he gets robbed of one right there.
As the shortstop, Jack Baker, up to hit. Hitting 8th today. Strike 2.
And Baker not loving that strike call on that corner down and away. Certainly going to have to live with it now, down 0-2. We'll have to fight to get back into this at bat.
Takes that pitch away to make it 1-2.
Baker, a guy that has moved and hit in nearly every spot in this Trinity order, can certainly get the job done.
Outside evens the count at 2-2. So Baker climbs back to even. Trying to find his way on. Fouled off, and Baker stays alive.
Yeah, nice job from Baker. Watching a couple down and away just outside of the zone. Remaining very patient. That one, better location from Vera after wasting a couple of pitches. Baker just spoiling it.
Take strike 3 looking. Another strikeout for Vera, and there's 2 down in the inning.
Very patient at bat from Baker right there, but Vera making him pay for it just a little bit. Breaking ball that maybe Baker was able to identify because of its spin. Vera, just perfect placement on that backdoor pitch. Brings it just back over the plate and catches Baker looking.
Strike 1 to the 9-hole hitter, Kai Tinker. Tinker playing third base today. Tigers trying to avoid going 1-2-3. As that's grounded to short, or the third, I should say, and that ends the inning. 1-2-3 go the Tigers, still 0-0 as we head to the 4th, a pitcher's duel in San Antonio. Top of the 4th in the Alamo City, Joseph Shavana back on the mound for his 4th inning of work as he faces Luke Finn for the 2nd time today. First pitch is away, ball 1. Finn 0 for 1 today, grounded out to second. UT Dallas has had the leadoff man reach, went 1-2-3. As Finn ahead 2-0. Breaking ball in for strike 1.
Right now, it's been that breaking ball that Shavana has had to rely on the most in order to throw strikes here tonight.
Doesn't get the call, 3-1.
Uses it a couple of consecutive times. The first one that was called a strike, a little bit more vertical action on it. That time, whatever horizontal movement it had, took it just outside the zone.
And there's ball 4, the second walk issued by Joseph Shavana. And the leadoff man is aboard for UTD.
Shavana on the mound. One of the other angles that we have, demonstrating just a little bit of frustration, recognizing the issues that he's experiencing with handing out these free passes, especially to start innings off. Not exactly what he wants to see.
I'll check on Finn, who's back safely. Now going against the dangerous cleanup hitter for UT Dallas, Dylan Bivens. UT Dallas second in the nation in home runs hit this season. So they showed the power that they have, with Bivens hitting a grand slam against Centenary earlier today. That's hit hard but foul. Evens the count at 1-1.
Shavana continuing to attack with that breaking ball in order to even in this at bat. I think if he can continue to just locate it down in the zone, there's no real reason to go away from it.
Does so there, and it's 1-2.
He's had 10 at-bats registered against these Comets. 2 for 10 is not a great number if you're the opposition. It's the free passes mixed into that have really hurt him the most.
Shavana checks on Finn, who gets back safely. Talked about those free passes just hurting him, as that's fouled back by Bivens. 6 in each of his last 2 starts. Had 6 strikeouts in his last start, 5 in the start before that, but you would think the walks would have to go down eventually. Runner goes, or bluffs like he is, and stays at first base.
Yeah, trying to provide just a little bit of a distraction on the base paths, hoping that whatever calls to Shavana and Lazera, pitcher and catcher, can distract Shavana as he's in that motion delivery to home plate.
Strike 3 outside edge. The third strikeout of the game for Joseph Shavana, and the first out of the inning.
Doesn't appear like Bivens loved that call too much himself. Leaned back just a little bit, but didn't offer any real argument to home plate umpire. I think demonstrating an understanding of the strike zone. Is that one still consistently being called tonight?
They'll check on Finn again at first base. Zach Landry up, a graduate student. Did his undergrad at Haverford College. This is his first year with the Comets. Landry making his 14th start. Strike 1. Shavana working against a .364 hitter on the season coming into today. Dallas very potent throughout the lineup. 1-1.
Another good competitive pitch from Shavana right there, just off the plate. A good take from Landry, recognizing that even in an 0-1 count, doesn't have to fight that one off. He can fall behind further and then move to the point where he can fight it off. Instead, sees something close, decides to be a little conservative on it, pays dividends as it evens the count in 1-1.
Good pitch, no call. And it's 2-1. You get the feeling that this zone's going to be like an octopus. It can grab things outside, but can leave some space in the middle as well. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw from Lazera in time, but gets through. As Harris is on the ground, able to get up, and he'll take his spot back at second base.
And interesting play right there. Was really focused on watching that one through, trying to see Colt Harris secure it. Saw it sneak past him. So I don't know exactly what happened. The contact induced out there at the bag that sent him to the ground.
Two-two pitch. Grounded to Harris. Throw to first in time, but the runner advances to third. So UT Dallas has the first run 90 feet away with 2 down in the inning.
Go back to this play right here. As he went down to try and secure it, looked like Finn coming in there a little bit too close to him. Just a little bit of contact, grazed him, took the hat off. It looked like Harris got up cleanly, was unfazed by it, and obviously unfazed by it as he made the nice defensive play out in the field after the fact.
Foul ball forces an 0-1 count. Shavana aiming for his 4th scoreless inning of the night. Strike called, outside edge.
Yeah, a nice pitch right there against a guy that has already reached base via the hit once. Fernandez standing in that left side batter's box.
Fouled off as Fernandez stays alive.
Presents a little bit of a challenge for any right-handed pitcher. Shavana really opting against throwing his breaking stuff right now. Doesn't want anything moving in towards the hand right through the barrel of Fernandez. Instead, trying to keep things up in the zone or away on the outside part of the plate.
There's the breaking ball, and he gets a swinging strike 3. 4 scoreless innings for Joseph Shavana. Still nothing on the board for either side. Bottom of the fourth in San Antonio, still 0-0 between the Comets and the Tigers. Pierce Matthews set to lead off the inning. 0 for 1 today. Grounded out the first time he was up as he takes ball one outside. Matthews, a power threat in the Tigers lineup, has hit 3 home runs on the year, all of them a 3-run homer or more. As that's grounded up the middle. Throw not in time, and Matthews is aboard.
Another ball hit just right back up the middle. This one a little bit slower than Christian Holloway's single a few innings ago. Vera, lefty, might have an opportunity to glove this one as a righty, but instead falling off the mound in the opposite direction takes him just enough out of the picture that it can slide by, and Pierce Matthews can reach first base safely.
McDonald fouls that one off. Matthews was running, but has to go back because of the foul ball.
Matthews not wasting any time getting on base and triggering immediately.
Matthews doesn't go there as McDonald takes ball one to even the count at 1 apiece. McDonald 0 for 1 today. Dropped down a bunt, but the ball took an unfortunate bounce and hit him. And when the ball hits you when you're running the bases, you're ruled out. As they check on Matthews, who's back safely at first.
Yeah, and Matthews not going on that second delivery, sliding back in safely right there. Might not see him go again in this at-bat. Pretty hard thing to do when you have a lefty up on the mound. Try to jump and get it by surprise.
Matthews does go and in safely with a stolen base. I was waiting for it. Once you said he wasn't going to go, it was almost guaranteed at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that one was maybe intentional. It wasn't at all intentional. But the announcer's jinx working in our favor here on Tiger Network here tonight.
It's McDonald now working with a runner in scoring position, nobody out. Strike called, 2-2. Tigers hoping to take the lead. One swing in the right spot could do it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. McDonald goes down swinging, and there's one away.
And a big looping breaking ball from Vera right here. He had McDonald well out in front of that baseball. Just went too early. The swing didn't stay compact right there. Hands leaking away from the body. Really no shot to fight that one off. And Vera doing a nice job after Matthews was able to advance into scoring position. That double play ball taken out of the infield.
Lazara grounds that to short. 2 away, but Matthews advances to third.
Now just 90 feet away and threatening to score. If anything, can squeak past Fernandez back behind home plate. With 2 outs on the board, I anticipate Vera's going to do whatever necessary to get out of this inning. And Fernandez, we've already mentioned once, has been impressive behind the dish. Will continue to operate as a wall back there right now.
The dangerous cleanup hitter at DH today, Christian Holloway. As he puts that one through in the right field, Matthews scores easily, and it's 1-0 Trinity.
Vera, with just 1 out left to get, will be unable to do so. He wants to get ahead in this at-bat right here and goes with that backdoor breaking ball that just hangs up in the zone. Christian Holloway being challenged on the first pitch. Maybe not the thing you want to do against that guy.
Holloway now 2 for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI to give the Tigers the lead. As the first-year Diego Gomez Swings through that. Holloway runs and is out. Christian Holloway caught stealing to end the inning, but not before he gives the Tigers the 1-0 lead on an RBI single. We'll head to the 5th in San Antonio. It's 1-0 Trinity. Top of the 5th at Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas. As Shavana fires ball 1. Trinity getting the lead in the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 off a Christian Holloway RBI single. Strike 1.
And a good spot from Shavana right there. Not very frequently this evening have we seen him fall behind in counts and then go to the fastball, but he's able to spot it on that outside edge.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
And important because it sets that breaking ball up right off of it. Looks like he started it right in a similar spot. Just has the bottom fall out underneath it. And Colthorpe left looking a little silly, swinging over the top of it.
Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. The 4th strikeout of the game for Joseph Shavana, and there's one away in the top of the 5th.
And a great response from Shavana. It's all set up by that first strike of the at-bat. Falls behind 2-0 and still doesn't give Colthorpe anything too good to hit right over the heart of the plate. He's able to just locate and work his way out of it because of that.
As he fires strike 1 to Efren Munoz. Munoz 0 for 1 today. He flew out to left. Ball gets away from Lazera, but no harm done. Since there's nobody on base, it evens the count at 1-1. UT Dallas trying to get something going offensively. It's been an offense this season that's had no issues producing runs, the 11th most in the country. 3rd most home runs in the country as well, with 15. Strike called, evens the count at 2-2. A potent offense for the Comets, but so far Joseph Shavana putting a cap on that. Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Joseph Shavana, and there's 2 down in the inning.
Shavana not putting that one exactly where he wanted to, but it's not really mattering at the moment. And Lazera behind the plate, up into a little bit more of a high squat as he held his glove up around the hitter's eye level. Shavana missed down on the ground with that one. But one way or another, these UTD hitters are just guessing up at the plate at the moment. Shavana has really settled in nicely to this one, especially across the last 2 or 3 frames.
Can't locate that, and it's 2-0. But we've mentioned the walks a lot in this broadcast, only 2 of them so far tonight. And you're just seeing a better version of Joseph Shavana as he fires strike 1. See the numbers on your screen. The strikeouts have now surpassed the walks. As that pitch misses to make it 3-1.
I think what it's emblematic of is the fact that even though he's surrendered some hits, surrendered some walks, that ERA has remained very, very respectable, and he just has worked himself out of situations. Now, maybe he has to do a little bit of a better job of not putting himself in those predicaments in the first place, but we know that he certainly has the stuff that he's showing us right now.
Fouled off as Yeager's self stays alive in the full count situation. I talked to Joseph Shavana about walking people. He walked a few guys in the Winter World Series, which is an inter-squad scrimmage they do. As he loses them ball 4. But he said there's a difference between, there's their bad and good walks. If you're just not competitive throughout the at-bat, then that's obviously not a good walk. But if there's a guy on, open base, dangerous hitter, you fall behind early, that's all of a sudden a position where it's a good walk. There's no need to put yourself in a risky situation. As now Shavana will face Lucas Rexon. Lands strike 1 to the leadoff hitter. Lifted in the air. Tinker calling and makes the catch to end the inning. So a walk handed out by Shavana, but he gets out of the jam. 5 scoreless frames from the Tigers' Friday night starter. Welcome back to the Alamo City. As you saw the scoreboard on your screen, 5 zeros hung up by Trinity's Friday night starter Joseph Shavana, as now Ryan Vera will try and match that, facing the first-year Diego Gomez. Takes ball 1. Gomez was up to bat when the last inning ended. Christian Holloway got caught stealing, so Gomez back out there. Takes ball 2. Well, Luke, you talk about the pressure of going against Joseph Shavana when he's on like he is right now. It's going to be up to Ryan Vera to keep matching with zeros.
And so far, he's certainly been up to the task. Had an opportunity in that last inning to get out of it unscathed. Unfortunately, just early in that at-bat against Christian Holloway, made a mistake on pitch number 1, and Holloway was ready to jump all over it. Outside of that, it was just one of 3 hits given up all evening long. Vera has done a very, very nice job of keeping this Trinity offense in check.
In danger of walking the leadoff man in Gomez. Vera behind 3-1. Fouled off, and now a full count.
And I think it's one of the big reasons that Vera has been successful tonight. 3 hits, all that he has given up. No free passes that he has issued to this Trinity offense.
Fouled off into the catcher Fernandez, and we'll do it again. Yeah, that's interesting. If Fernandez had secured that between his legs, that would have been a foul tip strikeout. I think there was a Diamondbacks pitcher that got his first career strikeout in a similar way. There's strike 3. Gomez thought he had ball 4, but not the case, as he's retired as the first out of the inning.
I'm not sure Gomez truly thought he had ball 4 or if he was just trying to do his best to sell this one. Vera perfectly spots that on that outside corner. We've talked about it maybe being a little lenient all evening long. That one pretty true to the zone that we're used to.
Grounded the third, and Colt Harris is retired in 1 pitch.
Harris stepping in again. This Trinity offense ready to hit this evening, ready to swing the bat at least. Harris puts a nice piece on that baseball right there. Unfortunately, just no awkward hops. It stays down smooth on the turf here in San Antonio. Fielded cleanly as it was hit right at the third baseman.
Now Jack Peterson squares up to bunt but pulls it back for ball 1. Peterson 0 for 1. He's flown out to right. But that's something the coaching staff of the Tigers talks a lot about, the turf soaking up these runs. In the past, you'd get a grounder, an awkward hop, and it would get through. Not the case here, as Peterson pulls back the bunt for strike 1. And you saw the Tigers' runs per game take a serious dip, partially because of that, 9.8 to 6.3. When I asked Coach Scannell about that difference, that was one of the things he cited. Ball called below the knees. Obviously, it hurts when you lose guys like MJ Metz who end up playing at Duke. But part of it was this turf.
And it wasn't just MJ Metz, right? MJ Metz didn't even leave that team the final season here in San Antonio in category like home runs. There was a guy like Brian Schaub who also left. There were a lot of departures from that squad. Huge amount of turnover here in San Antonio.
Tigers still found themselves in a regional final against ETBU, falling in that game 2-1. The defending SCAC champions. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Vera, and it's still 1-0 in the Alamo City. A good one between UTD and Trinity. Top of the 6th in San Antonio. Joseph Chavana back out there to face Albert Garza, the number 2 hitter for Texas Dallas. Takes ball 1 low. Both of these pitchers having outstanding games. Shavana struck out 6. As that's grounded to Shavana. And he makes the easy throw for out number 1. Vera, on the other hand, has struck out 5, has not issued any walks. Shavana has handed out 3. Yet he has the 1-0 lead, and it seems like it's going to be a game that's going to be decided by one mistake here or there.
I had the jinx come back to bite me almost immediately, Cole. And when you have a power bat like Finn stepping into the box, I think it's a real possibility for you as well right here.
We'll see how that works out. Finn second in the country in home runs with 7. Takes strike 1. You know, you wonder with a bat like that how often he's going to be able to get away with throwing that breaking ball for a strike like that. Low 2-1.
We're talking about the performances of each of these guys. Shavana's been great. Vera, well, his team currently trails in this one. It's really not all on him. I think you would anticipate a little bit more run support from this Comets offense, especially when you look at that line score. They've left 4 runners on base. Trinity and got home their really only opportunity here this evening.
Poked to second. And Finn is retired, 2 down in the inning.
Things for the Comets certainly were better looking earlier on in this one. The traffic has largely slowed as Shavana has settled in nicely.
Shavana has yet to go more than 6 innings in this season. Past the dive of Harris into right field. So Colt Harris nearly came up with another incredible defensive play at second. Not quite. And UTD has their first base runner of the inning.
And this, one of the only breaking balls we've seen from Shavana that is truly capable of being defined as hard hit. That one hanging up, Bivens doing a very nice job. He gets a very solid piece of that one, even though he was really swinging on top of it. Doesn't do all that much damage, but at least gives the Comets another chance.
Hit in the air, and it will fall into left center. Bivens stays at second, and UTD has 2 aboard with 2 down in the inning.
As soon as we talk about second chances or continued opportunities, next man steps into the batter's box, and Landry does a very nice job. He sees another breaking ball that he's maybe a little bit behind on, couldn't fully put the barrel on it, but still got his hand through just enough to send that out into shallow left field in a place where none of the Trinity defenders could converge to make a catch.
See on your screen, Shavana up to 94 pitches as he faces the catcher Fernandez. Fernandez 1 for 2, has singled and struck out. Grounded to second, and that will end the inning. 6 scoreless from Joseph Shavana as he leads this game with his team up 1-0. Bottom of the 6th coming up on Tiger Network. Bottom of the 6th on Tiger Network, 1-0 Trinity still leads UT Dallas. As Jack Baker leads this inning off. 0 for 1, struck out looking in his only appearance. Facing Ryan Vera, who's back out there for his 6th inning of work. Strike 1 at the knees.
And a very, very good spot right there, as Vera was able to locate in his last at-bat against Jack Baker and struck him out looking, as you just mentioned.
Tries to frame it, but 2-1 as Baker takes the hitter's count.
Yeah, we saw him go to that backdoor breaking ball earlier with a little bit more success. A called strike the last time we saw it.
Strike 2 at the knees.
But that spot certainly working for him. That offering second time around maybe a little bit lower than the first. Baker not thinking about that one at all.
Fouled off, and Baker stays alive as we'll do this 2-2 pitch again.
Seemed like Baker had been willing to at least start his hands on the first pitch of that at-bat. I recognized it was a fastball just a little bit too late as he was trying to deduce where exactly he was going to finish.
Fouled off again.
Doing a very, very nice job in this at-bat, though, is Baker. Making Vera work at the moment. Seeing if he can force the pitcher to throw something really right over the heart of the plate that he can punish.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Baker down on strikes for the 2nd time today. The 6th strikeout for Ryan Vera.
More often than not, it's been the arms that have been the guys to prevail. Baker forcing Vera to work, but Vera not caving at all. That count drawing even at 2-2, and he went right back to that breaking ball. Nice pitch, and he got Baker to swing right over the top of.
Now the 9-hole hitter Kai Tinker up, trying to set up the top of the order, with Pierce Matthews waiting on deck. Tinker 0 for 1 today, grounded out to third. Strike called. You got to think for both of these teams, whoever has the lead, 1 run just is not going to do it. There's strike 2 to make it 1-2.
Yeah, it certainly feels like on the other side, this UTD offense is right there. Been on the verge of scoring runs a couple of times. They've certainly had their fair share of traffic in this one.
Driven to right, and it finds a hole as Tinker's aboard with 1 down.
Kai Tinker in there in the 9-hole today. Games that I've been calling on Tiger Network this season. It hasn't been all of Trinity's affairs to this point. Kai Tinker has been a little in and out of this lineup. More so known for his glove and his defense over there at third base. But the past few evenings that he's been in the batter's box, he's put some really good swings on the baseball and find a way to just put the ball into play and get aboard for Trinity.
And they'll check on him at first base. Tinker with 5 stolen bases last season, so definitely a threat to go. As Vera works against the leadoff man, Pierce Matthews. Swings through that, and it's 0-1. Vera now the 3rd time through the order. As Matthews is 1 for 2 with a base hit. We saw UT Dallas get to Shavana a little bit in that last inning when he entered his 3rd time through the order. We'll see if Trinity follows suit as they'll check on Tinker 1 more time. Runner goes, but it's fouled off, so Tinker will have to go back.
Yeah, and while the runs have been hard to come by here in San Antonio, it looks like this Trinity coaching staff trying to find a way to supplement things. Hit and run on there for the Tigers. Matthews just a little bit too late. Started that swing.
Matthews in an 0-2 hole. One down with Tinker waiting on first. Outside 1-2. Tigers stole over 100 bases last season. That number up from the year before. And you have to figure part of that's because of the turf soaking up some runs, Trinity having to manufacture offense. They try it again there. As Tinker takes second, he's in scoring position.
Yeah, and Tinker was dead in the water on this one. Vera having him picked off just outside of your frame, unable to see it, as Landry dropping the baseball over there at first. Moving just a little bit too quickly as he was trying to transfer the ball so he can make that throw. Looked like he would have had plenty of time one way or another.
Matthews strikes out. And 2 down in the inning with Tinker on second base. Yeah, I didn't really see what happened there with Tinker. All I saw was he was dead to rights, and then he ended up at second base. So I just figured I'd let you take that one.
Pretty kind of you, Cole. Ultimately, no harm done for Vera on the mound. At least we'll have the opportunity to get out of this inning here with no additional damage done. Just needs one more out.
That strikeout, Vera's 7th of the night. As he faces Maddox McDonald, no, a pinch hitter actually. It's Cal Coney in for Maddox McDonald. So he takes ball 1 away. We'll see what this means for the fielding arrangement for Trinity. McDonald playing in right field, or Coney traditionally at second base when he's entered games. Coney getting his opportunity, hitting second. Takes ball 2.
Good job from Coney right there. Already ahead in the count, remaining patient, watching that one below the zone. Borderline on the breaking ball, but not close enough to get him to start his hands, and now he should get something that he really likes.
Swing and a miss. Strike 1. As there is some action in the UTD bullpen. Though based on the stage of where he is and warming up, you would think that Vera is going to get multiple opportunities to finish this inning. There's strike 2 down the chute.
Yeah, just when we thought, or I thought, I won't rope you into that. It was my error that Cal Coney was going to get something that he liked to hit. Vera remains the cooler head out there on the mound, giving him another breaking ball that finishes well underneath the zone, puts him back in at 2-1, and then pumps the fastball by him to get to 2-2.
Spins off the backside, but no throw. Vera only at 70 pitches, as you saw with that graphic on your screen, in a much different position than Shavana. You would think he has plenty more distance to go should UT Dallas choose to leave him in. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that ends the inning. Vera gets out of the jam, and it's still 1-0 Trinity as we head to the 7th. Grayson Coulthard set to lead things off in the top of the 7th. Joseph Shavana back on the mound for Trinity. He fires ball 1. This is the first time all season Shavana's thrown past the 6th inning. As he'll take his work into the 7th despite being around 100 pitches. Check swing foul, and it's 1-1.
And Coulthard was just about ready to start that walk down to first base. Home plate umpire saying that he swung at this one, very clearly got in and hit him on his hands, but also clear that that barrel ends up breaking the plane.
So Shavana maybe dodges a bullet there, as that pitch probably would have gotten him. That misses low, and it's 2-1. Coulthard, the DH, 0 for 2. He flew out to left and struck out the last time he was up. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and that'll even the count.
And a great pitch from Shavana right there. Watch Coulthard take basically the same offering just one pitch ago, not deterred at all. Remaining patient, relying on his stuff, and trusting that it's going to reduce those results.
Fouled off, and Coulthard stays alive. Shavana working through this bottom of the order. It's Coulthard, Munoz, the 8-hitter, and then Yeager Self, the 9-hole, due up. That's high, and the count is full.
And a very big spot for Shavana right here as he's eclipsed that triple-digit mark in his pitch count this evening. Does not want to be in that type of situation, issuing free passes.
And he does. The 4th walk allowed by Shavana, the leadoff man aboard for UT Dallas. And you wonder how long the leash is going to be, being past 100 pitches.
But for a true senior, I think that might help him out a little bit in that category. Still out there on the mound, and even after that free pass is issued, doesn't even warrant a conversation and a trip out from Coach Smith.
Munoz pulls back the bunt. Pitch lands for strike 1. Shavana working with Coulthard still at first base. Not in the position where UTD decided to pinch run. As they'll check on Coulthard, who was back safely.
UTD not opting for a pinch runner here. Something that we saw frequently in game 1 was them elect to play small ball. So they can put a bunt down, as it looks like they're going to try and do. Was a different camera angle that at home plate, Munoz was starting to square around as Shavana stepped off to throw to first. Seemed committed to it right here.
Does so again, gets it down. Shavana goes to second. They get the lead runner on to first. Not in time to get 2, but a heads-up play from Joseph Shavana.
And Shavana, who's been relying on that breaking ball, throws it again for a strike. And that's exactly what you want to do in a situation where you know that the guy at the plate is going to try and put a bunt down. Because it's so difficult to try and put a bunt down on a pitch in the strike zone that's moving as much as Joseph Shavana's breaking ball is. And while he did do the job of getting it down, he put it right back at Shavana. And with Coulthard over there at first, he knows he has plenty of time to go and get that lead runner and avoid putting someone in scoring position.
That pitch lands for strike 1 to Yeager Self. Self 0 for 1, has walked. Check swing didn't go around. It's 2-1. But going back to the bunt, goes back to UTD's decision not to pinch run Coulthard. Shavana knowing he had the time, as you said, to get him. That's strike 2 as it lands. But it ends up costing Dallas the lead runner. Now Munoz stuck at first base with a fielder's choice. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and there's 2 away. Another strikeout for Shavana, as he's worked 6.2 innings in this one.
And what a response from Shavana here, after issuing that free pass to open the 7th to Cole Thorpe. He's turned right around, certainly aided by the bunt that comes straight back to him. He's going to take any outs that are given, but a big spot there, getting that 9-hole hitter.
Gets away for a second. Munoz stays where he is. As the leadoff man, Rexon, went around on that. It's 0-1. That's hit in the air. Could be a tough play, but not the case as Milligan makes the catch. We head to the middle of the 7th on Tiger Network. Still 1-0 Trinity. They cling on to the lead against UT Dallas. Bottom of the 7th on Tiger Network, still 1-0 Trinity as Nicholas Lazera, the catcher, set to lead things off for the Tigers. Ryan Vera still on the mound for his 7th inning of work. He's had no problems against Lazera so far, as he's grounded out twice and is 0 for 2.
Really, you have to tip your hat to the guy who has gone out there and has not been deterred by his team's lack of run production. Continued to operate very effectively, and he's held this one exactly where it's been.
On a night where Vera breaks the UT Dallas record for appearances by a pitcher. Strike 1 to Lazera. Vera started at UTD as a first year. Stayed there all through his undergraduate years and now in graduate school. As that's hit hard into right, but the catch is made. Finn able to lean down and make the grab off the line drive by Lazera, and there's one away.
Currently, looks like Lazera's hanging over there at first base.
We'll see it on the replay, and that did skip off the ground. The way UT Dallas was reacting to that, it looked like Finn made the catch and he sold it.
Yeah, he did a very, very good job of selling it out there right off the bat, but the home plate umpire came pretty much all the way out to the pitcher's mound as that one was put into play. I think he conferred, make sure that that call was made correctly, and umpire in the field, I think, saw that one pretty clearly, as we were able to just a couple minutes later on that replay.
So Lazera at first base, despite the theater by Finn in right. Sets up Christian Holloway, who's 2 for 2 today with 2 base hits. Also has the only RBI for either team in the game. And he falls behind 0-2 there. The wind ripping in San Antonio. You can see people bundled up in blankets behind home plate. Outside 1-2. You know, we brought it up earlier, Luke. Tigers are going to have to add on. You got to think that one run just isn't going to do it. Fouled off, still 1-2.
Yeah, especially when you consider where Joseph Shavana is in this game. Contemplated for a couple of half innings now whether or not he would be back out there to start the next frame. After the top half of the seventh, well over 100 pitches in this one. Imagine that his day is probably done.
That hits Holloway, and the first two Tigers reach.
So this Trinity offense here in the bottom of the seventh trying to account for that probability. And two guys aboard now, no one out. Still right here in the heart of the order.
You could see before somebody rudely stepped in front of our camera that UTD does have action in the bullpen. Only 80 pitches for Vera so far. As he deals with Holloway and Lazera. And it looks like everybody from the Tigers that's on base is coming in for a meeting. And we'll see if there's any pinch runners that come out of this.
Yeah, that looks like Jarrett Phillips, number 49, who has been the guy to have his number called more often than not in these pinch runner situations. Also looked like at the plate, pinch hitter coming into the game for Trinity as well.
So Phillips will take Holloway's spot at first base. Holloway leaves this game 2 for 2. And a hit by pitch. Lazera still at second. He'll stay in the game, and the pinch hitter for Diego Gomez is the lefty Brandon Nelson. Nelson, who started the last two games for the Tigers. Usually the team's first baseman was getting a day off, but duty calls. As Vera throws off the backside, Lazera back safely.
And really an interesting decision. Vera, who's thrown very well, lefty on the mound for the Comets. Coach Scannell opting for the lefty in the batter's box as well. He has a plethora of guys that can stand in on either side of the batter's box. Nelson perhaps at just a little bit of a disadvantage standing there on this side.
Squares up to bunt, pulls it back. Ball one. Brandon Nelson, one of the best power hitters on the team. Runner goes, but that pitch fouled off, so Phillips will have to go back.
It seems that very likely right there another hit and run was on, as Lazera, of course, at second base ahead of Phillips as well. Lazera wasn't nearly as far up the base path.
Swing and a miss, strike two. Now a two-strike situation, still nobody out in the inning. Vera into some trouble. Hasn't been in this situation a whole lot today. UT Dallas has had far more base traffic than Trinity. But the Tigers able to capitalize once to take the lead. Now the 1-2 pitch to Nelson. As Lazera caught in the middle. And he'll be tagged out, so a base runner erased. As Lazera is thrown out at second, Phillips has to stay at first, and there's one down.
You can see Lazera as he heads back to the Trinity dugout, having a little bit of a conversation with third base coach there. Just an unfortunate break for Trinity right there. So they had a great scenario going at the moment with first and second base occupied, nobody down. Instead, Vera can very quickly turn this into a two-out situation.
And he does so there, strike three, as he gets Nelson swinging. Another strikeout for Vera on the night, and things have quickly turned in the favor of UT Dallas in this inning.
But again, Vera not panicking whatsoever on the mound. 1-2 count at the plate. Operates very patiently. It's a long look in, ultimately proved very fruitful. Gave him the opportunity to pick Lazera off at second. Then he turns around, focuses his attention back in on Nelson at the plate, and he induces that strikeout.
That was the 9th strikeout of the night for Vera. Throws ball 1 to Colt Harris. Jarrett Phillips still the runner on first base. Would be surprised if they don't send him at some point during this at-bat. Ball 2.
Yeah, I was really thinking the same exact thing, Cole. Phillips coming into this game. I haven't seen him a lot in the field. I haven't seen him in the batter's box this year, but clearly some real speed on the base paths. Member of this Trinity football secondary.
Hit in the air to right, but Finn won't have a play.
And Harris putting a charge into that one, well out of play. No harm done for Vera, and now he moves just one strike closer to working another scoreless inning.
Outside full count. And you'd think Phillips will almost certainly be moving on the next pitch.
And if you're Vera, you have an opportunity to maybe get an easy one if that's the case. Phillips has to do a very, very good job of ensuring that Vera is going home right here. I don't think you mind waiting just that extra second to ensure that's the case, and then you can fully take off.
Fouls it off as Harris stays alive. Jarrett Phillips was on the move. And if Harris keeps fouling pitches off, Phillips might be in for a workout. We do the 3-2 pitch again. Outside ball 4, he loses Harris. The first walk handed out by Vera all night, and it puts 2 on with 2 down in the 7th.
And a great job by each parties for this Trinity Tiger offense right there. Jarrett Phillips remaining very patient over at first base. Was not going to go until he saw Vera commit to home plate. Colt Harris in the batter's box, remaining very patient against a guy who has not issued any other walks this evening, as you just mentioned, Cole. Very difficult to lay off pitches in a situation like that. You anticipate that they're going to be right around the strike zone. And Vera's control leaving him just a little bit in that at-bat, however.
Such an important situation for Trinity, trying to extend the lead as they turn to the center fielder, Jack Peterson. Peterson 0 for 2 today, has flown out and struck out. Takes ball 1, and I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's a very, very good spot from Ryan Vera right there. Peterson standing in there at 6'3", certainly a very, very tall hitter. I think if you could say anything about it, it's not the spot that Fernandez was set up in, and perhaps that ultimately hurts the Comets.
Inside, and it got him. Peterson to first, and that loads the bases.
And things starting to perhaps unravel just a bit at the moment.
And this will warrant a meeting from his catcher, Fernandez. Coach Shoemake staying in the dugout as of now. Looks like this will just be a one-on-one quick talk. As the bases remain loaded. Jack Baker, an opportunity for the Tigers. 0 for 2 today, has struck out twice. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Baker represents 2 of Vera's 9 strikeouts. A new career high for him. He is now tied for third in school history with 194. Fouled off, 0-2.
And a very good job from Vera right here. After struggling a little bit in the last two at-bats, lost command against Colt Harris and issued his first free pass of the evening. And that control still very loose as he hit Jack Peterson. Now as Baker steps up to the plate, he finds himself again well ahead 0-2 and has the opportunity to waste some pitches.
Does so there, making it 1-2. Though I don't think that's what you had in mind, Luke.
Yeah, I think right there you want something still over the plate, something low, something that your guy behind the plate, Fernandez, can block just to get this swing and miss right over the top.
That's in the dirt. A good job by Fernandez to keep it in front of him, with the speedy Phillips waiting at third.
And I think that's exactly what you wanted to see on that 0-2 count. Maybe the waste pitch, fastball in the opposite batter's box changes things up, makes that one a little bit easier to lay off of for Baker, who now even continues to fight in this at-bat.
Locates it for strike three. The 10th strikeout for Vera as he gets Jack Baker looking. And that ends the inning. The Tigers leave them loaded, still up 1-0 as we head to the 8th. Top of the 8th. Trinity left the bases loaded in the last inning. Joseph Shavana remains out for the Tigers. He's already thrown 7, a season high in innings pitched in a game, as he faces Garza, who's 0 for 3 today. This is Shavana's 4th time through the order. Ball 2.
Shavana is a workhorse for this staff. They will use him, and they will have him throw a pretty obscene number of pitches for most arms. The 2-0 start here in this half inning is going to warrant a visit by Lazara out to the mound. Doesn't look like there's any coaches that will come and join them. There's a lot of movement up and down the field between the Trinity dugout and the bullpen out in left. Ultimately, over the past couple of innings, there have been arms warming, and I think had Trinity made a little bit of an improvement in the bottom of the 7th, scratching a couple more runs, we might have seen a move. Instead, a 1-0 game, they had Shavana come out.
And that will be the day for Joseph Shavana. He throws 2 pitches in the top of the 8th and exits this one with a 1-0 lead. As we'll step aside on Tiger Network, a new pitcher comes in for Trinity. Top of the 8th, and the Tigers put in a new arm. It's Will Hellings, who comes in with a 1-0 record and a 4.05 ERA. He also has one save on the season, which he got last week against Wisconsin Whitewater. Take strike one.
Yeah. Even more precarious spot in a 1-0 ball game as he enters and inherits a count that's sitting at 2-0.
Now quickly makes it 2-2.
Yeah, very, very difficult thing to do, but perhaps a little easier when there's no traffic on the base paths, and I think you hypothesized, Cole, that's exactly why this move was made. Give him the opportunity to take reins of this leadoff hitter.
Outside edge, doesn't get the call, and the count is full.
That's exactly what he's done. Takes the reins, puts himself in a 2-2 count, and delivers a very, very solid pitch. Just a better take in the batter's box.
Hit in the air, but fouled into the screen, and we'll do it again.
So far, a very steady diet of fastballs. And imagine that until Garza can prove he can put something in play, it's probably going to remain the case.
Puts it in play there. Rolling down the line fair. Hellings makes the throw for out number 1.
And a nice job from Hellings right there. Ultimately, he fields this one practically right on that first baseline. Puts him in a very awkward situation with Garza having already passed him. No real angle or throwing lane to Nelson over there at first base, a defensive replacement. Also for Nelson, no real opportunity or lane of vision to watch that ball come in.
Drops down the bunt, but it rolls foul, as that's the number 3 hitter, Finn. Luke Finn, 0 for 2 today. He has walked, has grounded out to second the other 2 times. As you see stuff blowing by the camera and the jerseys whipping, this wind is relentless in San Antonio as that breaks in for strike 2.
I'm getting a wind advisory on my Apple Weather. We'll see what exact measurement we can find. It says 18 miles per hour on my phone. It's San Antonio area in general.
Grounded to Tinker. Throw in time. 2 down in the inning.
And there is exactly what we talked about earlier. Tinker flashing his defensive capabilities. Waits back on it over there at third and then delivers a perfect strike across the diamond. A very, very strong throw, and it looked like it was absolutely necessary as he beats the runner by maybe half a step.
Bivens fouls that into the screen. He's 1 for 2. Singled, walked, also struck out looking against Shavana. Now in an 0-1 count. Outside 1-1. Hellings, the transfer from Odessa College, his first year with Trinity. Now in his 3rd game. Pitch low, 2-1. Dallas trying to find something offensively. Not going to happen there. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Hellings continuing to show his fastball off here in San Antonio. Just a little bit too much velocity for these Comet hitters.
Check swing, foul, and we'll do it again at 2-2.
That one well inside on the hands of Bivens, who starts them recognizing that fastball and gets lucky that he could just get any part of that bat on the baseball. Can't imagine how that one felt.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hellings throws a perfect 8th as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Tiger Bats trying to extend this 1-0 lead. Bottom of the 8th, 1-0 Trinity hanging on to a lead. As the 9-hole hitter Kai Tinker leading it off for the Tigers, and Ryan Vera still out there for UTD. Ended the last inning with his 10th strikeout of the night on Jack Baker, putting him in sole possession of the 3rd most strikeouts in program history. Foul tip, strike 1.
Pretty big spot here against the 9-hole hitter for the Trinity Tigers. Something that Joseph Shavana did very well earlier in this one, retiring this guy before the lineup turned over.
Hit in the air to center, and the catch is made. Self doing a good job to track that down. You think that's going to be a little harder as this game progresses with the wind going as hard as it is.
Yeah, especially now that the sun is fully down here in San Antonio, nearly 9 o'clock. I've seen quite frequently the balls that get up there this late in the day, they can get lost, especially when these outfielders have to deal with the stadium lights here in San Antonio, kind of playing at an awkward height.
And there is a pinch hitter for the leadoff man, Pierce Matthews. It's Alex Monson, who we've seen in a DH capacity in the past. Takes ball 1.
Again, the second time tonight that we've seen a pinch hitter come in. It's been Brandon Nelson, now Alex Monson, both guys standing in left-handed batter's box.
Outside 2-0. We know Scannell not afraid of that in the past. We saw last year, particularly with Jack Peterson, but showing trust in his other lefties tonight. Outside edge, strike called.
That time, a very, very good job by Fernandez behind home plate, framing that one, keeping it right where it was, not letting his glove drift with it.
Strike 2 down the chute, and that evens the count.
That pitch in a 2-0 count, just one offering to go. Had the opportunity to be ruled as a ball. He was very sure-handed. Got it to 2-1.
Swing and a miss, that's strike 3, the 11th strikeout of the night for Vera as he continues to add on to his career high.
Keeping it 2-1, clearly very, very important as Vera turns that at-bat around from that point on. Fastball right down the heart of the plate, and then there it is. That lefty advantage goes to the pitcher with that breaking ball that moves away, breaking into the other batter's box from Alex Monson.
And another pinch hitter, Max Milligan. So Cal Coney, the last time this position was up, pinch hit for Maddox McDonald. Milligan filled in for Coney defensively in the outfield and now hits second in this lineup. And as you've pointed out, Luke, another lefty as he takes strike 2. Milligan in an 0-2 hole. Vera trying to take us to the 9th. Outside ball 1.
And that, again, an opportunity for a real waste pitch. 0-2 count, way ahead. Don't want to flirt with anything too close to the heart of the plate. Wasn't going to make a mistake over the middle.
Grounded to second. And the throw in time. Garza makes the play as Vera's great night continues as we head to the 9th on Tiger Network. Still 1-0 Trinity leads UTD. Top of the ninth in San Antonio. Will Hellings back on the mound for the Tigers, trying to collect the final 3 outs of this game. And what would be his second save of the season. Leading it off for UT Dallas, trying to extend this game, is Zach Landry. 1 for 3 today, a .360 hitter on the year. First pitch is outside. For those of you just joining us, it's been the 2 starting pitchers. It was Shavana versus Vera today. Vera's thrown all 8 innings for UTD. Shavana threw a scoreless 7 for Trinity as that lands for strike 1. Will Hellings came in to relieve Shavana in the 8th. A scoreless 8th inning, and now trying to do the same to shut the door. Hit hard but foul, and it's 1-2.
Hellings jumping ahead in this first at-bat in top of the ninth. Very important to get this leadoff out, especially in a ball game that's just separated by 1 run at the moment.
Grounded to short. Baker's throw in time. A good scoop by Nelson, and there's 1 down in the 9th.
Great play from Brandon Nelson right there at first base. It could be a big difference in this ball game. If he doesn't get this one cleanly, good chance it gets by him and might give Landry the opportunity to advance an extra 90 feet right there. Makes that play look really, really easy, however. And Hellings' job also gets a little bit easier with that first hitter retired.
As the catcher Nico Fernandez takes strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. This Tiger bullpen, such a big question all year. But Will Hellings has been the exception. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And UT Dallas is down to their last out.
That first out really changing the complexion of this one. A certain sense of urgency sets in when you're down to those last 2 outs, still trying to just get a base runner on that would represent the tying run. Fernandez certainly chasing a couple of pitches right there, far outside the zone.
Ball 1 to Grayson Coltharp. Coltharp 0 for 2 today. Has struck out. He walked the last time he was up. Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. UTD not done yet. Tying run aboard.
And Coltharp, who had perhaps struggled at the plate just a little bit this evening, entered without a base hit in that at-bat, finally is able to break into that category. And now we'll see a pinch runner for him, something we thought we might see his last time on.
Pinch runner for Coltharp. The bottom 3 in this UT Dallas lineup were hitless until now. Coltharp, the 7-hole hitter, gets his first hit of the night, and pitching coach Dave Smith is going to come out to talk to his closer Will Hellings. As that's Dolan replacing Coltharp on first base. Luke, what do you think the conversation is here, being 1 out away with a pinch runner on first base?
I think more than anything else, it's just recognize where you're at in the order. You had Coltharp in that last at-bat. He represented that 7-hole, so you still have the 8 and 9 hitters. Currently, it's Munoz who's slotted to step into the batter's box. Looks like that is the case. He's going to be followed by Self. These are guys that are still hitless on the evening. If you're Hellings on the bump right now, these are guys that you can still afford to attack.
Does so there with strike 1. Munoz 0 for 3 on the day. Reached on a fielder's choice the last time he was up. Fouled, and it's strike 2.
That's exactly what we're seeing right now. 2 very competitive pitches from Will Hellings, not messing around, not trying to be cute. He's going to make Munoz beat him right here.
UT Dallas down to their last strike. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the Tigers win. They get 1 run all night, and it's enough as Joseph Shavana and Will Hellings shut out this potent Comets offense.
Just like we thought, Will Hellings was going to make him beat him, and he just couldn't. The fastball out of the bullpen, far too much for the UTD Comets. Will Hellings just overwhelmed hitters again and again, especially when he could elevate it up in the zone. The bats just couldn't catch it.
The light show in San Antonio as the Tigers are victorious. They move to 7-3, now having back-to-back wins, and you see the final strikeout here.
Yeah, Hellings going just at the perfect height. You see so frequently that fastball up gets wasted when it comes in right at eye level. Not the case right there. Puts it just above the hands of Munoz, and he gets exactly the outcome that he was looking for.
Trinity able to get the win, 1-0, an RBI single from Christian Holloway. Gets the job done. Remember, a doubleheader tomorrow on Tiger Network as these UT Dallas Comets will take on Centenary once again. Following that, these Trinity Tigers will take on Centenary as well. And then UT Dallas and Trinity to meet again on Sunday. Thank you to everybody who made this broadcast possible, everybody who stayed late on a Friday night working a doubleheader. For everyone in the control room, for my partner Luke Terry, I'm Cole Isaacson saying so long from San Antonio.